You guys, welcome back to another episode of Undercover Beauty Queen. Okay, so about right here, right? See how we can see the bus in the distance there? You guys, things have been getting weird lately, right? And I don't want to I admire what Tay Lynch said yesterday. I was watching one of her YouTube videos, and she was saying how, she wants to make it a point to stop talking about what the op is doing or pulling cards on that, etc. And it's also the simple fact that, like us talking about it is also a way for them to energy siphon, right? But you guys, last night where I just was, this car pulled over like this whole dirt road, right? It was dark out. They had the brightest lights. They were just parked there for so long, so their lights are shining through the bus, right? So we're like, okay. And it was when we were going to bed, and then periodically they would flick their high beams on. So it was like they were making it known that they were, Jesus Christ. So they were making it known that they were clearly like attempting to torment us, right? There's also been a van that every single night they've been parking next to the bus, but this is like 3 or 4 nights in a row that they've done this. They park right near the bus, and mind you, like where we're parked, it's like there's room for you to just park and just be like kind of secluded, but we're all like parked near each other, like in this area. And these people every night have been parking right next to us, and then they sit there for like an hour, and then they move up closer right like next to the bus. And it's like, why don't you just park where you're gonna park when you get there? But we noticed like last night when the person that was flicking their lights at us finally left, that's when they decided to move up closer to the bus. And it is very bizarre like how close you're getting to us. And then they leave early in the morning. But the other night I had the headlamp on and I was going out to turn on the generator, and the lady like hops out of the car, right? It's like 10 o'clock at night. She hops out of her car and she's just standing there on her phone. And this is just bizarre shit that these people do to either attempt to make contact, weird you out. Like these are all energy siphoning tactics. And for me, it's like, I noticed her do that and I'm like, this bitch is stupid. But the main thing to remember here is that for anybody else that's experiencing this, like, you have the power. To that person that was sitting there flicking their lights at us, like, bitch, I'm your boss, okay? You're earning compensation to come and stalk me. I don't even know what you were informed, because everything that you were informed was bullshit, okay? So these people don't even realize that, like, they're having their energy siphoned, right? They're getting a high off of this dirty money, this stalking behavior, this just false narrative, right? And it's like, that's what's taking up your energy. You're believing it, you're feeding into it, and now you're relying on this dirty money. And it's also the simple fact that like these people really think that like that's intimidating. You know what I mean? Once again, this bitch is stupid. Like I just couldn't believe when they were literally just leaving the high beams on, and then they would turn their lights all the way off. Like they must have just been having a fucking field day. I was like, just picture them in their car like cracking up. And it's the simple fact that they're getting compensated for this. And it's like, really? Okay, so then there was a guy at the grocery store yesterday, right? I'm doing the self-checkout, right? He's walking by with somebody else, and when you just feel somebody staring at you? So I look up, and he like said something to his friend, and he's like laughing while staring me down, and I was just kind of like, okay. Pause for a minute. Guys, does this mean that he is a part of the gangstalking program? Is it very possible that he could have just been laughing at my lack of aesthetic? Or just, you know what I mean? Like anything else, of course. But it's like when you get that fucking poop dick vibe and you're like, something's weird. And it was just like the way he laughed at me, which, mind you guys, so many people have laughed at me out in public. Like, again, couldn't care less. And it's like, I don't blame you. You know what I mean? But I like, as he was like walking down the aisle, I like looked up and he was still staring at me from away down the aisle. And then he came back and was just lingering my presence at the self-checkout. So I took a picture of him. I'll include it at the end of the video. It doesn't show his face, so I'm not being like a disrespectful bitch or anything like that. But it's just the fact that like, whatever these people are told, and for me, like, this is where it gets like really sick and sad, but like for me, how I believe that like I was SA'd, and what I think somebody else like disguised themselves as me, Vanessa Orr, and did weird things like in the bedroom, and like they basically once again like put all of this material together for like their fake OF dark web content, whatever. And that's why so many people were just beyond repulsed with my presence. And this was, you know, in Enfield, Connecticut was when that started. But it's like the way people like laugh at me. I've even had kids like sent in stores that would like bark at me. And it's all correlates, and it's all just like so fucking sick. But it's also, guys, the simple fact that these demons that are operating through these meat suits, they think it's hysterical how I was SA'd. You know what I mean? Like, they want to torture me knowing that it wasn't me. It's somebody else that was like pulling my pants down while I was like passed out. And just, guys, again, I've talked about it before on my old channel, but it's just like, I'll let people use their imagination on that. And it's like they just do these things like, so you're in the lowest state, and again, hoping that you just take yourself out. But it's like, again, could this person just have been either a little fucked up or just even laughing, you know what I mean, like with their friend and happen to look over? Yes, I'm not, even if people, once again, if they want to point and laugh at me, totally get it. Okay, so then there was another guy last night that drove by the bus. And it's like, just, it's bizarre because of like where we're parked. It's like cars are just like driving off-road, like just like on the grass. And I was just sitting, it was like I posted a video last night, so I was just sitting on the stairs like with the door open, and this guy drives by and he's like, hey, how you doing? How's your old man? And I'm like, what? And he's like, remember? He's like, I was talking to you at Safeway, da da da. It was starting to get dark, but also, mind you, I haven't been to Safeway around this area here since we were in the last like place where we were. So when he said that, I was like, yeah. And it's like, sometimes like when these people, you know what I mean? Like when they want to make contact or whatever, it's honestly just easier to just smile and nod, right? Like, okay. And he's like, he could tell that like I wasn't receptive to what he was saying, but he was like, you know what I mean? Like that's when he kind of like, the look in his eye was like, this bitch is stupid. And I'm like, take care. But it's also like, babe, don't know you, keep it moving. All right. Have a good one. Yo. And you know what? I'm like, as I'm walking, I'm like, let me just say this. Because it's like these celebrities, right? Who, like, because if you're being gang stalked, you're not only a celebrity, but it's like people that society looks at as celebrities could never fathom what it's like to be treated how they're treated, right? But purposely kept broke. I don't identify as broke, but I will say that, you know what I mean, there are people in higher ranking positions that are pulling the strings to make sure that life is just much harder than it should be, right? Every job that I worked is getting sabotaged. Everybody just thinks I'm a chronic masturbating weirdo. And it's like, thank you so much to everybody at Wooden Tap in Enfield that created that. You guys are great. You can all fuck off. But like, you know what I mean? Like when you think of like Justin Bieber and like all these people that you know what I mean? Their life's not our business. They went through some shit, whatever. But it's like they have no idea how lucky they are to be able to have some sort of financial like boost. That's a lot more than a boost. But for us, it's like being purposely slandered, tortured how they are, but making sure we have absolutely nothing. It's like sick. Like I guess I'll fuck off now. Okay. Also, just watch that back, and I love that how many times I said it's just a simple fact could actually quite literally be a drinking game. So Alrighty.